Yo guys, it's JJ here, and today I'm going to be taking you guys through a Nardo Wick tutorial. But first off, before we get into this, as you guys know, I'm trying to hit 600 subs by the end of New Year's. We're kind of halfway there, like near 650, so I'd appreciate the love. Comment, subscribe down below. Anyways, back into it. First of all, you need to know about Nardo Wick. Really high BPM sort of beats. We got like the 160 to 170 range, like 150, 170 to be honest. And as well as that, you have loads of synths, you use loads of effects. Everything is just very processed within his beat making process. So let me show you how we do it. First of all, we got ourselves an American Large Studio piano. That's the preset, and the VST, of course, is Piano V2. And as for the pattern, very simple, straightforward. As you can see, it's just a repeating note of D, and then at some point have a little D sharp, then back to D. All that does is create tension between the notes because they're only one semitone apart, and all I actually did was just take this, control up, and then copy and pasted it. Quite simple, but that's the first pattern. So this is what it sounds like. There you have it. For effects, we got ourselves a very basic EQ, cutting off all the lows, a few of the highs, and then this preset that I made from Valhalla Vintage Verb. And last but not least, sound was stereo separated like 22%. Nothing major, but just a bit. And real quick, the reason why I've got this sound involved and why it's very basic and repeating, it's a very good basis for the whole melody. It's nice, something consistent, constant, you have it going throughout the thing. Keeps the listener and the rapper you're trying to send beats out to like engage. Next thing on the list is a preset I've got from Purity here, and it's from the Slow Synth bank, and the thing is called Hekbo Res. Weird name, but that's what it is. And as you can see for the pattern, we just follow that root of D, and then we have these two D and D sharps playing constantly every other bar, and then just have this G playing here once in a while from the root note. This creates a lot of darkness because of course we're literally playing notes that are in tension, notes is again here, and then just the root note, a bit of variation. And without further ado, this is what the sound sounds like. And there you have it. Sounds super sinister already, even more dark. And this is the kind of sound I'll bring out, that processed sound in Nardo Wick beats, this kind of stuff right here. So for effects, all I've got myself is an EQ cutting off a bunch of the lows. And of course, something very important is Portal, and I'm using a preset called Magic Portal, and I believe it's from the Grain Textures bank here. And then last but not least, Valhalla Vintage Verb with these presets. But yes, as I was saying, Portal is a very, very key component to Nardo Wick beats in my opinion. That's you get a lot of that granular processed sound effect that keeps going on throughout his beats. So if you're trying to achieve that, I highly recommend you invest into Portal. And as for stereo separation, it's around 50%, just to widen it in the mix so it's not super far in your face, but you know it's there. Next up, I got another sound from Purity and the same bank, and the preset is called Tremolo Signal. Very simple, and let me show you it. The pattern, as I said, simple. All I'm doing is just following this root note and just playing it every little beat, and that's all you need to know. As long as it sounds good, that's all that matters. But when I use this sound, it's kind of more like a textural layer, a bit of like extra like air candy here and there, so this is what it sounds like. And there you have it. It's a nice little bit of air candy, as I just said. It's like a little like booping sound in the back, kind of phases between left and right headphones, so both super dope as a nice little layer. And as for effects, as you can see, I've got myself a little bit of panoramic, giving the sound that movement. I've got grow speed because what I did was I turned on the half beat gate and then just ducked the volume a bit on the mix. And all that does is it gives it that nice little kind of choppy sound, that movement that it has, and it really helps the beat go forward a lot. And then on top of that, have your basic EQ, lows cut out, and then again, more reverb, and this is how I used it. As for stereo separation, this was to the max because it's a very, very subtle sound, more of an ear candy thing as I just said, like a texture, so wasn't in the forefront, but you can feel it in the beat, so really, really good. Next up, we got ourselves an instance of Omnisphere, and the preset I am using is the Growler Moog bass because it's the best synth bass about. Can't go wrong with it, so of course I'm using it. As for the pattern, yet again, very simple, straightforward. All I did was just repeat this every 2 bar and just left this little bit of space to create a nice little bit of extra tension, give that melody a bit of bounce, a bit of flavor. But with that being said, this is what the melody sounds like. And there you have it. As for effects, you guys can see I've literally got nothing going on here because I thought the bass sounded good as it was. Next up within the melody, we got ourselves a bell that comes in every 4 bar, and to be fair, self-explanatory. We all know what it sounds like, so here it is. Simple. We all heard it before, so I thought I might as well just skip it. However, for the effects, I've got myself an EQ, cutting off unnecessary highs and a lot of the lows. And then, as well as that, I added a fair amount of reverb, I'd say, to this bell, just so it's not too far in the mix again, but it's just nice and ducked in the back and adds that extra bit of that sinister evilness to the whole Nardo Wick vibe. And of course, this was stereo separated like 100%. Again, far in the mix. Don't want this to be in the forefront, but again, giving that evil vibe. And now, last but not least, we got ourselves a preset from Expand 2, and it's called Koto Loves Dulcimer, something like that. The point being is, it's in the ethnic bank, and it's from Expand 2. One thing I like to say about Nardo Wick melodies is, if you have like a very granular kind of beat like this one going on, use the Koto, or I don't know how to pronounce it, I feel like I'm butchering this, but it's a really, really good instrument. It sounds super dope in these beats always, and all I did was come up with this nice counter melody which repeats every 4 bar. And then the last thing I did to it was click Alt R, just so I can randomize the velocity, making it sound more human. And now this is what the final melody sounds like. And there you have it. Super dope, super nice, and that's what we like from the melody. But before we move on to the drums, we of course gotta go for the effects. So this is the EQ I gotta go for the Koto. Few highs cut off, a lot of the lows are gone, and just ducked some frequencies I didn't like. On top of that, I got this nice basic flangers going on the default preset, but I just took it down to like 50%. And of course some reverb, because we need that ambience in these beats. So first thing now, we've got the drums. And as you can see, we're starting off with a snare. Got a nice little basic pattern going, and then got this nice little thing that comes in once every 4 bar, just like a little cascading effect. It's really, really apparent in the song Holy Ghost by Future and produced by ATL Jacob, Fire song, which is a fire beat. So highly recommend you just listen to that. But this is what the snare sounds like. And there we have it. Next up, we got ourselves the hi-hat pattern. And yes, it's a bit of a crazy pattern, but I'll walk you through it. First of all, starting within the first bar, we go on the magnet tool, go to quarter step, and all you want to do is hold the right click, and then you just scroll the wheel till you scroll to the paintbrush with our plus sign. All you have to do is click on that note, and then you can just drag and do whatever you please. So as you can see, I got this nice little roll going at first, and add a nice little extra roll here. And this roll here was using a half step tool, or you could just, like, you know, space it out properly when you place it. Another half step roll, another quarter step roll. Nice little cascading effect I got here. And to do this thing here, what you want to do is, as you're dragging these out, hold shift, and as you can see, it'll just drag these notes for you. And then of course, a few more rolls and one more. So without further ado, this is what the pattern sounds like. And there you have it. And you may be wondering why the hi-hat pattern is super weird. Well, that's the thing with these beats, the hi-hats go crazy always. Like, despite whatever you think and whatever you conceive about, don't go too crazy on the drums with the melodies, this and that, everything goes crazy in these beats, so you gotta make it pop. Next up, we got ourselves, of course, the 808 pattern and the kick pattern at the same time. So first thing you need to know is, this is the pattern I came up with the 808s. Pretty crazy, but self-explanatory. Started off with the D note, but just took it up an octave. Then just did a nice little drum bounce, as you can see. Got a nice little roll going here, and then took it up to a D sharp, just because, you know, creating that tension, that vibe, that darkness. So did that. And then on the latter half, all I had to do was go on the magnet tool, go down to a third step, and as you see, I can zoom in, place these notes down. That's how you get these really dope rolls going. And then I just finished it off. And last thing you need to know is you want to click Control A and use that right scroller wheel so you can actually max your velocities out, because that is very, very key. All that does is it makes your 808s hit harder, your kicks hit harder, and that's exactly what you want. You want them to be punching through that mix, so always do that. And as for the 808 pattern, all I had to do, and as for the kick pattern, all I did was copy and paste the 808 over, click Alt K, highlighted only the C notes and click accept. And all that does is, as you can see, just lines all of the 808s down here. And as you can see, all that does is it lines all the kicks down below and gets them in the same, and gets them all the same note, which you see in this instance, because that's the root note. So without further ado, this is what the 808 and the kick sound like together. And there you have it. And as you can hear, that roll at the end goes super crazy, has that nice little vibe going, and it complements the whole Nardo Wick aesthetic even more. And to round this all off, all I did at the end was add this nice little open hat pattern which matches the 808s that come in at the beginning, just to give it that extra oomph. Comes in a bit harder, so had to do it. And without further ado, This is now what the full drums sound like together. And there you have it. We've officially made it to the end of the video. I hope you've enjoyed. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that down below. Really are pushing for 600 by the end of the year, so support the gang. And of course, I'll see you guys next week. Peace.